Hello, welcome to the fourth episode of my Road to CTA series. This time it's about admin knowledge and why it matters for the CTA. This presentation is a re-recording, a slightly improved version on a presentation I already did together with Jakub on another channel. If you didn't see it yet, go ahead. Otherwise, I will. Don't bother, it's just a re-recording. To the topic now. Most people I talk to who go for the CTA are from a tech background. Many people rose through the ranks as either developers or architects directly, studied something like IT. Not too many actually came from an admin background. And as most of us, we are inclined to tackle challenging topics. It's always more interesting to learn about complex integration scenarios than to try to figure out the limits of lead assignment roles. If Flow Republic or SAP's curriculum taught me one thing, is that learning the basics is absolutely necessary. And our Salesforce projects, or our projects still are Salesforce projects, and they should be, or at least they are, most of them are very Salesforce functional, out-of-the-box functionality. And this knowledge is mostly admin knowledge. So today I want to share my thoughts on why it matters, admin knowledge, but also what can you as a developer or as somebody who hasn't worked as an admin for a long time do to actually brush up on your admin knowledge in order to get to the CTA. But before we start, as always, the disclaimer. This is all my personal opinion. I'm no CTA judge. It's all based on our preparation, which we did for the CTA, not on my personal review board experience itself. It's all based on public knowledge. And please always check with the latest official information from Salesforce. Not everything I'm going to say is either still relevant, or maybe something even incorrect. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. Nevertheless, I will start with why it actually has some benefits of being a developer. No doubt there. Then I will walk you through an average scenario, and even I did some analysis on click versus code, and I brought 3 examples where you can really see why admin knowledge, but also development knowledge matters for the CTA. And the last one is, what can you do next? As always, there's some homework included. And this leads to today's sponsor, or not today's sponsor. I wholeheartedly support Refugee Force. And Refugee Force trains refugees on Salesforce. It's a Dutch non-for-profit. It's currently active in Amsterdam. It's currently and expanding to Berlin. And one thing refugees need most is a job. Once they are trained Salesforce professionals, highly motivated, they need a job. And this is why I also collaborate with Refugee Force. I think the people who are watching these videos, people who are currently architects or planning to be architects, are in positions to hire people. So please go ahead, hire a refugee today. And if you can't hire a refugee, but you're still inclined to support Refugee Force, if you like these videos, go ahead and donate. Each non-for-profit always also needs money. And thanks for that. So you are a developer. What's actually in it for you? What's the benefit? You know how to think in complex flows. It's not that admins don't think in complex flows, but code is inherently more complex than admin thinks. You know about the software development lifecycle, something I had to learn painstakingly on a theoretical level. I wasn't too experienced there. You know about integrations. You know what a JSON is, what an XML is, what's the difference between SOAP and REST, best case scenario. You even know about bulk API 1.2 versus 1.0 versus 2.0. And you know how to solve requirements related to code development or even refactoring. These are all relevant topics, and I think all architects have that on their table at some point or another. And in my opinion, it's easier to learn admin things on a theoretical level without actually having hands-on experience than learning developer things on a theoretical level without having hands-on experience. Of course, it always helps for both of them if you've done it in your real-life job or at least some make-believe projects, but sometimes you only can study on a theoretical level. So now we got that out of the way. There's no developer blaming in here. As a developer, go for the CTA. It's a great foundation. You definitely have a shot at it. But I took my favorite scenario, actually, one of my favorite scenario, the Galaxy Cars and Trucks, the extended version, and I analyzed it line by line with the solution. And this is my personal opinion. You know, your solution might differ, but I had 26 requirements solved with Click, admin knowledge, Salesforce out of the box functionality, 7, which I include flows and process builder in Click solutions. Like, let's call them no code or low code solutions. Then 7 requirements have been solved with code, which is 20%, and 8% is neutral or other. So 72% of the requirements are solved with low code, no code, out of the box Salesforce functionality. If your foundation is on Salesforce functionality, if you only miss 10% of that, you missed 7% of all requirements, which is absolutely not acceptable for an architect. You have to know your basics. So I think for most of you, this might be surprising, because in your daily job, you usually focus on the complex stuff, which is actually the 20%. And we tend to forget that the 72% still happen. This is done by your solution architects, by your admins directly. Maybe your BAs do it without you even noticing. Somebody sets up a lead assignment rule. Oftentimes they don't even bother to go to you as an architect. It still happens, and you still should, in my opinion, actually have an eye on it. Make sure that the correct solution is used for the correct requirement, and that you not reinvent the wheel. So if you don't know about your admin background, it's easily happen that the 72% becomes like 50% or even less, that you solve everything with code. Because, you know, if you only know a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And in order to showcase here more what I mean is I brought 3 examples. And for each of them, I have a requirement, a code answer, and a click answer. I will not go into detail. You can pause the video here and read it for yourself. I think this is more sufficient, more efficient for videos. Nevertheless, as an admin, as an architect, or as a developer, I think you should always know both worlds. You should be able to identify for each requirement the code answer and the click answer. By click, I always mean low code or no code. And then make an informed decision. An informed decision can also be like something we would like to do it with code, but we don't have developers. So an informed decision is based on many different criteria. And for the CTA, you should be able to know alternatives, but choose the optimal solution for the given situation. So this is the first example, customize something by region. Second is about an approval process. Again, pause here if you like to go into details. And the last one is about the backend integration. And from the 3 examples, the backend integration is the only one where I actually go with the code answer. We could here go with a flow, which does use the advanced external service. Nevertheless, it has some drawbacks. So you have to make it a reform precision. Doesn't mean it's not possible. Go ahead, solve them yourself. And I guess many of you will notice now that they have gaps in their admin knowledge, and I have them as well. I mean, my job experience, I didn't touch everything. Even if I was an admin, I didn't touch everything admin related. There's definitely a lot of areas I never touched. So what should a developer, or by the means an admin, do? Consider declarative features on your daily job. Make it a habit of always also think, what would an admin do? Doesn't mean you have to suggest that solution, just make it a habit. Always think in solutions. Find an admin as a study partner. This is absolutely crucial. I mean, an admin will give you ideas. This is really fun. Don't just study together with developers. Like, I think coming back to my previous presentation, find people who are as different as possible from you. Do beginner admin trails and projects. Really amazing. Even if you're an experienced admin, I redid a lot of the old trails. Volunteer as an admin, either for non-for-profit or even within your company. You know, nobody will complain if you take over first level support for a week, or if you do an internal internship with an admin. I did the same the other way around as a developer. I volunteered for first level support quite often. And people always are kind of happy if they can just toss some bugs over to me. This is how I became a better developer, by doing volunteering for the as an internal first level support. And get admin and functional certification and take them seriously. Don't just try to pass them somehow. Make it a habit of, for all certs, I would recommend that 80% is the absolute minimum, rather have 90% correct. And go for it. Admin, Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Advanced Admin, one of my personal favorite, App Builder, and the Dev 1. These are all valuable certifications which will teach you a lot about, at least identify your gaps and hopefully help you to close your gaps. So this is now a lot of homework already. That you can start doing something today, right now. Identify your admin gaps, but also take 5 random requirements from your daily job, something you can up with from a scenario, whatever. Think of one admin solution, but also think of 2 developer solutions. What I want to get at here is think in options. Make it a habit of thinking both ways. And this already concludes my today's presentation. I'm super happy to look over your homework if you hand it in. And as always, be a Salesforce nerd, have fun. It's a great journey, it's a fun journey. And with that, see you next week. Bye.